Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular council meeting of Tuesday, November 18th. I'd like to start off with the Lord's Prayer. Please remain seated. Anybody who wishes to join me can. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Dean, call the order, please.
Mover and a seconder, please.
Keith and Brian.
Moved by Reeve Watt, second by Councillor Ugly, that the regular council meeting of November 18th, 2025 be called to order at 5:30.
All in favor? Carried. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bennett.
Present.
Reeve Watt.
Present.
Councillor Gauthier.
Present.
Councillor Hewitt.
Present.
Councillor Ugly.
Present.
Councillor King.
Present.
Councillor Wren.
Present.
All members present.
Okay. Confirmation of the agenda. Wendy and Betty.
Moved by Councillor Hewitt, second by Councillor King, that the agenda regular council meeting of November 18th, 2025 be approved as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Declaration of peculiar interest. Seeing none. Approval of a motion for approval of October 21 regular council meeting minutes. Jennifer and Alan.
Moved by Councillor Gauthier, second by Councillor Wren, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held October 21st, 2025 be approved as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Motion for approval November 4th. Keith and Brian.
Moved by Reeve Watt, second by Councillor Ugly, that the minutes of the council and committee meeting held November 4th, 2025 be accepted by council and that the resolution of that committee become resolution of council.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Down on municipal reports. CAA report.
Nothing this month.
Nothing this month. Treasurer's report. Annie's a little tired from the budget today, but she's still here. Any questions? Brian?
I just had one. I'm wondering how we get back to the 9, the little graph with just down a bit. Next one down. How can we get back to 9s in 2024? What happened there that we did such a great job, and how do we get back there?
Yeah, so that's the
recent.
number of delinquents
Yeah.
for the water.
Yeah, and it jumped
I don't
back
know
up
why
so
we-
much in June, you know, like we were down from 2 months and then bam, right back up again.
Yeah, it is coming back down, and I mean, there could be different reasons why.
Well, the
They're
June
not-
one, the reason June would be, that's when the bills went out probably, so, or due. So all of a sudden, like May, they'd be due in May, and then all of a sudden in June, there's more arrears. But as you see, they go down a little bit. Then again, November is another billing, so that's when they creep back up again. And then,
But what did we do to get to 2 months of 9, and how can we get back there is the question.
not sure that's.
Yeah, because there are reminders that are sent and everything. I think that's just been a custom, and I'm not sure if anything different was ever done, but I'll ask if there was anything else. 9 was very low, but.
Yeah, really low. That seems really odd to me.
Almost like a misprint, maybe.
Yeah.
Alan?
So I think, Annie, I requested this at
Yeah.
the last meeting because, this is one of the first times that we're seeing it raise, but that's since we raised the rates as well. So we want to
Yeah.
keep an eye on it to make sure that it's doesn't keep creeping up. And he says it looks like it's starting to come back down, which is a good sign. We want to make sure that we're not forcing some people into delinquents because of the price of the water and sewer.
We did something well there. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I don't know.
want to repeat that.
Yeah.
Wendy,
I
please.
was just wondering if the postal strike that we've had over, several months, if that had anything to do with maybe people not getting their bills?
Yeah.
Well, could be 100 reasons why, but we may not know.
Yeah.
Anything else for treasurer? Public Works? Keith?
Just a question for Mark. Did our road painting get completed, all the lines? I know it was getting late in the year, but
Yes, so, like after the last meeting and we were uncertain if the company would come, I did a final reach out and they were here within, actually a couple of days. So it was, everything completed but some progressive stop bars, which they did come back and complete. So, we are 100% done. I think we still are looking at, continuing with the partnership with Pembroke and Petawawa alone for next year, and doing a, sort of three-party painting contract that we have with Waste Management and other things, just with the hope of maybe getting some better costs and some better service. It's been probably 3 or 4 years now with the county cooperative where it hasn't gone well, and we're not the only lower tier municipality with the same issue. So I think we're just gonna look at some other options and hopefully get some better service.
Thank you.
Brian?
Did all the concrete work get completed, or is it suspended until, or pushed off till next year?
So talked to the two homeowners, Greenwood's holding the pricing and we're going to do the retaining wall and the driveway next year. That was within some discussion. So Greenwood had a crew coming and we turned them back just to suit what the homeowners wanted. So but Greenwood was okay with it, and we have correspondence that they've committed to the same pricing for 2026.
But it was the homeowner that decided not to get it done. Okay. Okay, that's it for Mark. Planner, CEMC, anything for Laurie? I do have one, Laurie. Have you heard any update, or have you or Mark have been back at TMM as to how the progress is going there?
That's all right.
Yeah, I think things have been progressing. I apologize for reaching over here. Progressing well. But yeah, we have had a review preliminarily of phase 2 that they're getting ready to launch that application. So we are looking forward to having the subdivision agreement for phase 1 fully executed very shortly. So that it is moving along, but I can ask for an update just in terms of if they're dialing down for part of the winter or just where they'll be at.
Okay. Just for council information as well, I did get an email through actually a councillor in the city of Pembroke regarding a request to name one of the streets in the new subdivision. It was a Pembroke resident, I believe. And TMM have already named all their streets for phase 1. But if anybody has any name that they would be interested in phase 2, get it to Laurie as soon as you can. I don't know if they're gonna go the same format, Laurie, naming all their own streets. I think some of them are after their kids' names and whatever. So if anybody's interested in getting, somebody history-wise name, let Laurie know. Just a heads up. Okay, mayor's report. I don't have a lot to report. I did attend Remembrance Day last week for Laurentian Valley. Other than that, we have a rec meeting next week, Dean, for the process with our council in Pembroke and not Cornerstone, what are they called?
Milestones.
Yeah. So we'll have an update after that meeting, but that's all I have, unless there's any questions for me. Okay, seeing none. Motion. Betty and Jennifer?
Moved by Councillor King, second by Councillor Gauthier, that the council receive the following reports from mid-October to mid-November at the regular council meeting of November 18, 2025. Treasurer's report, Public Works Manager's report, Planner CMC report, and the Mayor's report.
All in favor? Carried. We'll go under planning, motion to request extend draft plan approval for Laurentian Meadows Burncon subdivision file 47T14001. Laurie, please.
Okay, so we once again received a request for an extension for this subdivision. The reasons provided were basically the same as what was provided last year. We would hope that we have brought in those fees, and we have been each year increasing the fees to request these extensions. We hope that might have been some sort of encouragement, but at this point, they are indicating that they're still looking to move forward, that they're looking at different ways to address their servicing, and this is one that does have a sister subdivision that's under various stages of process within the city of Pembroke. Now, it isn't fully completed there either, but again, we, continue to encourage that, we're open to looking at things, but I think, again, it's in their hands.
Okay. Questions on that? Keith?
Just a question for information. When a subdivision is already established like that, as far as on paper and it can go, how is it assessed? Is it assessed per lot? Is it assessed per empty field?
Okay, so that's a question we can certainly confirm directly with MPAC, but I believe the thing, because it isn't actually finally approved, it's draft approved, that it wouldn't be assessed the same way as if it were all newly created lots, but it still might be assessed slightly higher than if it was just vacant lands that didn't have a draft approval on it, but I can certainly follow up that question.
Maybe I can add too, I think what happens is, it's assessed as a block initially,
Right.
Vacant block. Once it's subdivided, it will become lots, but they do give a bit of a window there before they actually start assessing each individual lot. So they'll give them some opportunity, and in the case of TMM, it's gonna move quick, so they're probably just gonna get the homes on, most of them, and then be assessed that way. It's not live kind of, all of a sudden it's subdivided and all of a sudden there's lots charged and assessed. Now, if it, probably after the sake of a year on title, and it's starting to boom, then each lot will be assessed a value and, taxed accordingly, based on a vacant lot.
Right.
So I think they work within, there's some parameters there that assessment has, like, it's not immediate, it's not as soon as it's registered, and then they're all like 80 lots at, assessed at whatever value they put them at. I think they do give them a window there. It used to be that way.
And we do have the current Kirkland subdivision that just did get draft plan approval and final registration, and it is split now with separate roll numbers, but I'll watch the timing for that and give you an indication of how quickly they actually come forward with assessed on those individual lots. Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion. Alan and Jennifer?
Moved by Councilor Wren, second by Councilor Gauthier, that the council supports the request for an extension to draft plan approval from January 7, 2026 to January 7, 2027, and request the County Renfrew grant the applicant's request and approve an extension to draft plan approval for subdivision file 47T 14001 Laurentian Meadows subdivision.
All in favor? Carried. Next motion is on Trailside. Lori?
Okay, yes, so bringing back, this was a zoning bylaw amendment, which we had the public meeting for 2 weeks ago. And so this is a recommendation with the conditions for draft plan approval to attach to the approval of the zoning bylaw amendment. Again, with this parcel, we're not fully, sure how all of the pieces will be developed. Some might be with a site plan, some might be with a plan of subdivision. So that's why the draft plan conditions kind of broadly cover the different types of agreements. Anecdotally, we do know that there is a party interested in moving forward with an apartment development that will be consulting more with us, and that may move fairly quickly with the site plan. So that is kind of the first piece. For the remainder of it, that's where we'll kind of see as those concepts come back forward to us within that set of lands. But they are actively pursuing some movement on it.
Good. Questions, comments? Motion? Keith and Brian?
Moved by Reeve Watt, second by Councilor Ugly, that the council establish the condition of removal of the holding symbol for applications only file amendment file number Z 2025-08 Trailside as follows. The owner agrees in writing to satisfy all requirements, financial and otherwise, of the municipality concerning the provisions of roads, installation of services, stormwater management, drainage by means of site plan agreement, development agreement, and or subdivision agreement to be entered into between municipality and the owner to satisfaction of the municipality and as deemed appropriate for the phase of development. That the agreement between the owner and the municipality be registered against the lands that which it applies. That where applicable, the conditions of any associated draft plan approval and/or consent approval have been met to the satisfaction of the municipality. That safe and adequate access points are available, and if improvements are necessary, that there is an agreement that the improvements required to accommodate the use will be provided to the township and/or / the county's satisfaction. That the appropriate studies and the respective phases are provided and may include, but not limited to, studies to address stormwater management, traffic impact, natural heritage, and aggregate impact for lands within 150 of the existing license, and that the township approves an application for zoning file amendment, file number Z 2025-08 Trailside, and forward bylaw 2025-11037 to the bylaw portion of the regular council meeting of November 18th, 2025 for passing.
Well said.
Thanks very much.
All in favor? Carried. Prevention legislation changes. Laurie, do you want to comment on that?
Just certainly, once again, we're being bombarded with a lot of proposed legislation changes. There's some items that are up for comment till the end of, I guess, mid of next week. There is a session that both Angela, the planning technician, and myself will be attending on Thursday morning in Kingston with Municipal Affairs. It's the first meeting they've had for planners for a number of years, where on the other side of the Municipal Affairs House, they've had a number of meetings each year. This is the first one, so I don't know if they're going to give us any insight. So in terms of, some of the things that are being put out there for discussion, it does relate to more prescriptive things coming down from the province per se, in terms of directing what we would have in the style of format of planning documents in terms of certain zone provisions and that type of thing. But it remains to be seen what will come back from that discussion, but it's an interesting time and much change.
Oh,
So Laurie, I know in there they're saying that they're looking at streamlining the standardizing official plans. So would it be prudent that we kind of hold back on moving forward with our official plan until that all comes through, so we don't do it, then have to go back and change it all?
Yeah, I think there will be, certainly going to have a discussion on Thursday with, if I can get the ear of anybody down there that will be able to provide us with some input back. What they do have posted is the general, what they're consulting on, which if things hold true as they have before, it's probably pretty close to what they're going to come out with. But I think there are certain aspects of ours that I would still be accelerating, that there's certainly been direction from council to move forward with, that I think it's still prudent to update those parts and then certainly circle back. But there's, I think with some of it, there's aspects that we would be bringing forward anyways. Some of the directions that have come out are certainly related to official plans for larger centers that, have a whole different approach that, when they talk about limiting things from being 600 pages and that, it's like, I can't even fathom how they get through those. So to my mind, it's that they're probably very old ones that have a lot of amendments. But, that being said, I'll certainly keep my eye to that. And yeah, it's certainly kind of on the radar of, what's happening. But again, we do have some kind of pressing municipal matters that, there have been discussions through council and some directions that I still would be bringing forward. I think at the very least, structure as a major amendment.
Laurie, with all the promises made to getting rid of some red tape and building homes and communities as they headline this, have you seen any direct effect that's been beneficial to our township through the, first year and a half?
So the thing I will say, and even, speaking with some of the newer developers in the area that have developed in other parts of the province, even for us saying that we feel that, with our volumes that we've received, that we're slower than we used to be, they're still saying that we're much faster in processing than other areas of the province. Unfortunately, I think a lot of what's happened with the Planning Act changes is they've actually slowed us down in many cases, because we've had to stop, create other policy to bring in, and then in some cases we spent all this time bringing in policy that then they repealed, so then we had to get rid of, I think that there have been a few good changes in terms of, some of the agreement parts, that streamlining of it, because we kind of have our standard format, that it doesn't necessarily have to come back to a council meeting, that we can, deal with those, or the directives for removal of holding symbols where, council set out what we're looking for. They've passed the bylaw to establish principles. So those kind of changes, I think, have helped, potentially streamline. But I think, there were a lot of things where just are trying to update practices, or even if they would come out with help on some coordinated provincial application system, rather than everybody having to look at cloud permits or different types of cloud things themselves. Those kind of things would have, I think, been more helpful to streamline, but it's been an interesting journey because a lot of the streamlining hasn't happened for the provincial agencies, so.
Okay, thank you. Bylaws team.
Yeah, motion, please.
Brian and Betty?
Moved by Councillor Councillor Yuli, second by Councillor King, that the following bylaws be enacted and passed and be read a first, second, and third time, and be numbered and signed by the mayor, the clerk, and sealed with seal of corporation, and be engrossed in this bylaw book this 18th day of November 2025. Bylaw 2025-11037, zoning bylaw amendment file number Z 2025-08, creative ventures trailside.
All in favor? Carried. Council acknowledgements. Jennifer, then Al.
So I have a question. When I went to the ribbon cutting a couple of weeks ago, I was at Cheryl Gallant's office that morning. When I saw Chris that day, I said, who invites them? And do they both get invited to a ribbon cutting? Does none get it? Nobody knows that answer. How do we, moving forward, what is the proper answer?
So typically, any business within our municipality that's having an opening or reopening or whatever, they contact the office and they invite the mayor and any council members that are available. To the extent of inviting anybody else, as in Cheryl Gallant, our MP, or our MPP, Billy Deno, it's a responsibility of the business owner to invite those folks. They're inviting us because we're the closest government agency, because we're the township. Anything above that they want there, they will invite those people directly. That's the way we've always, it's
Well,
always
yeah,
been.
I think, and it's their party, so they're making the invitation, it has nothing to do, we're just getting invited like they're, whoever they want to invite comes. I mean, so we have nothing to do with the invitations.
The only time that we would do, the same as TMM doing the grand opening.
Yeah.
They invited us to do the grand opening. We didn't arrange it. They did, so we showed up. I don't believe either Billy or Cheryl were there, but they weren't invited or didn't attend. Most of the time, I don't know who, most of the time I'm there, and I thank you for doing the one last week. But generally speaking, I don't know who's showing up either. I've had Ron Jervick come as Mayor of Pembroke to a Laurentian Valley opening, but they invited them. They weren't. Sometimes the geography of where the business is, they get confused. But I've never asked staff to. I think maybe the only time might have been our 25th last summer, and I would assume that I asked Chris to invite everybody and whatever. But that's the procedure.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan?
So just a huge shout out to the Jason Blaine Charity Golf Tournament. The airport again this year was a recipient of $5,000. So it's great for the airport, great for the area. I guess they dispersed about $155,000 to local charities. So kudos to Jason Blaine and the team. It's pretty amazing what they've been able to accomplish over the short period of time they've been at this. So it's
Oh, absolutely.
it's really good. So.
There's been a lot of benefactors for that, for sure. Absolutely. Anybody else? Last call? No? Okay.
Maybe before, just a reminder, the volunteer, I don't know, we may have a meeting before that anyway, but the volunteer appreciation function is December 11th, okay, and it's at Shady Nook. Okay, and we'll be sending you a further update, just a reminder, I guess, but that, and then I do believe the Laurentian Valley, gathering is the 12th. Yeah, Friday night. Okay, so we'll be sending that to him, so. Okay,
Okay, note and file?
yeah, motion.
No, it's the 5th.
No,
Over to
it's
12,
12.
city's the 5th. 12.
Alan and Betty.
Alan and Betty. Moved by Counselor Wren, second by King. Yeah, we're at city, yeah. That item, okay, moved by Counselor Wren, second by Counselor King, that the item not specifically addressed by motion of council in the regular meeting of November 18, 2025, be noted and filed accordingly.
All in favor? Carried. Confirmatory bylaw. Wendy and Brian.
Moved by Counselor Hewitt, second by Counselor Hughley. That be it resolved that the council, the Township of Laurentian Valley approves confirmatory bylaw 2025-11038 as having been introduced, read a first, second, and third time, and the said bylaw be numbered and signed by the mayor and the clerk and sealed with seal of the corporation this 18th day of November 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Adjournment. Keith and Jennifer.
Moved by Reeve Watts, second by Counselor Gauthier, that the regular council meeting of November 18th, 2025 be adjourned at 6 PM.
5:59.
Oh, sorry. I did miss that.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out today for the budget, and have a good night.